So my dude's Valkyrja, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 units in Genshin Impact. Once again, this is a list based off my opinion and my experience. If you don't know my experience, a little bit of a reminder for you guys, but I've been playing the game daily since day one. I have been doing content for Genshin for over a year now. I have been playing the game for a very long time. I have a very thorough understanding of how the game works. So, all that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into it. And at number 5, we have Xiangling. Xiangling is one of the strongest pyro characters in the game. She is incredibly powerful. You get her for free just from beating some floors of the Abyss. It's been so long. It's been over a year since I've had to do that. So I don't remember exactly which floor, but I know you beat, I think, the 3rd floor. You beat the 3rd floor of Abyss, you get Xiangling for free. What makes Xiangling especially good is her Pyronado and how it functions. The way her Pyronado works is it summons a spinning blade, and the spinning blade can proc elemental reactions every single time it hits. So it makes it so she can actually proc things on a very quick cooldown, where other characters have very long ICDs. Xiangling, however, does not. Xiangling's able to constantly proc any type of elemental reaction, whether it be melt, vaporize, whatever, very consistently. Whenever you pair that with the fact that her ult functions while she's off the field, you get a very strong pyro sub DPS that ends up dealing a ton of damage. The one downside to Xiangling, she kind of has Bennett tied to her hip, because her ult is able to snapshot. So with Bennett's buff giving so much attack, you're able to genuinely pump out some real damage with Xiangling. And next up at number 4 is Zhongli. Mr. Osmanthus Wine himself. He likes to talk a lot. The reason Zhongli is on this list is because of his shield. What his shield does is it obviously casts a shield around him that absorbs tons of damage, but more importantly, it makes you CC immune, and it reduces all elemental resistance of enemies around you by 20%. That includes physical. It also has a literal 100% uptime because it's 12-second cooldown with a 20-second duration, making any unit that you have on the field virtually unkillable as long as you have a well-built Zhongli. And then on top of that, he has an ult that petrifies for about 3 seconds. It's a very good ult just for the CC aspect, not even talking about the damage. You have options to build him into damage, but you really don't need to. This right here makes him perfectly serviceable, and Mihoyo's been trying to beat this shield for about the past 6 months now. Coming in at number 3, we have the Raiden Shogun. Now I want to make this very clear to begin with. This is me considering the Raiden Shogun at C0. I'm considering the 4 stars on this list at C6 and the 5 stars at C0. Me considering Raiden at C0 puts her at number 3. The main reason being is her energy generation from her ult. The fact that she functions extremely well with ER, so she has virtually 100% uptime with her own ult, and she generates a ton of energy for your team, as well as being able to buff your team's elemental burst damage and doing really good off the field damage. Her best weapon for free-to-play players is actually farmable. I don't have it because I have not done the fishing, but it's called the Catch. The Catch is a very good weapon for Raiden Shogun. So all in all, if you get her C0, if you get her just one copy of Raiden, she's a very strong unit to plug into any team, and she's able to constantly keep energy going for the team. And not to mention, as your team burns through their ultimates, Raiden's going to be able to build up stacks, chakra stacks that go behind. You can see on the little ring behind your allies that she can eventually consume all chakra stacks to deal one big hit of her ult, and also increase damage on the normals of her ult because she summons a Muso no Hidetachi, does tons of damage, and regenerates everyone's ult. Now this domain, in all transparency, is very good for energy generation, so it doesn't showcase it the best, but I'm pretty sure if you have Raiden Shogun, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Her energy generation is absolutely insane. At number 2, we have Kaedehara Kazuha. Kazuha is a fantastic whatever you want him to be. He has abilities to support due to his extremely strong passive here, to where he can generate a huge amount of elemental damage bonus for your teammate, provided you're swirling the correct elements. He's very strong at C0. You can also build him DPS. He deals fantastic damage that way through his ult. The fact that his ult just is a self-amp because it synergizes really well with his passive. His skill is a self-amp. It synergizes super well with his passive. He gains 200% of attack as the elemental type, so he's multi-elemental. He is a very strong unit. He's somewhat simple to build too, because if you're running pure EM Kazuha, substats on artifacts do not matter. You just need to run EM, and there's a craftable powerful weapon that gives EM. Also, he is a very strong unit that goes into virtually any team except a Geo or Anima team, and luckily the best teams in the game are Pyro and Cryo focused. So he goes into virtually every single team. I'm not even going to do any build up for this one because you guys all knew this was coming. Here is the #1 unit in the game. The best unit in the game is Bennett. Yes, Bennett is the best unit in the game without the shadow of a doubt because the way his buff works in it is so damn broken. So, Bennett is a unit that you basically just run 4-piece Noblesse Oblige on. You get him to about C5 is really where you want to stop because then you get 3 levels on his ult. You can see level 13 or level 11 ult, level 13 is where a lot of people end up getting him. The skill damage doesn't matter, the attack bonus ratio is what matters. You stick Bennett with a very high base attack weapon, and you get a very high attack bonus. It's going to be 106%. It's why many people like to run Aquila Favonia on Bennett, so if I were to swap this, you can see his base attack kicks up to 844 and 106%. He's almost giving an ally 1,000 attack. He at level 13 with Aquila Favonia, he actually gives more than 1,000 attack. He is the best unit in the game by far because everything I told you completely discounts the fact that he also heals your teammates. Because of Bennett's buff, whenever you combine that with snapshotting abilities like Xiangling or Kazuha, any ult that really snapshots and takes full advantage of it, you end up with a huge damage boost to all teammates to the point where you can just deal crazy amounts of damage with virtually any team and just shred whatever's in your way because Bennett's buff genuinely is that much. Bennett right there probably got her to around 4k attack. Bennett is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the best unit in the game. And like I said, not to mention on top of everything I just said, he also heals while doing it. So if you guys manage to have a C5 Bennett, which I know most of you do, he's an invaluable piece to any team composition. Anyways, that has been my top 5 units in Genshin Impact. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with my list? Do you guys disagree with my list? If you guys would put somebody somewhere, let me know where you guys would put them. Thank you guys for watching as always. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.